Thomas and Friends, making tracks to great destinations.
The island of Sodor is surrounded by beautiful blue seas, fields of green and sandy yellow beaches. There are rivers, streams and lots of trees where the birds sing. There are windmills and a coal mine and docks where visitors to the island arrive. The island also has lots and lots of railway lines. Who's that puffing down the track? It's Thomas. Hello, Thomas.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the island of Sodor.
Thomas the Tank Engine enjoys working on his branch line with his two faithful coaches, Annie and Clarabelle. Every day he huffs up and down the line, taking his passengers to every station along his branch. Though Thomas enjoys his passenger runs, he longs for adventure. Lucky for Thomas, that day soon came. Thomas was collecting passengers at Brendam Docks when he noticed a big pirate ship on the quayside. Salty and the Flying Scotsman were there.
Hello, Salty. Hello, Scotsman. Nice to see you again. What's with the huge ship?
From what Salty was telling me, it's being brought to the Westward Duck Works to be put into the Maritime Museum. Oh, indeed it is, mateys.
Why would this old ship be put into a museum?
Oh, this be no ordinary ship, matey. This is a special pirate ship. Back in the day, there was a group of pirates after the long-lost treasure of Captain Callies. They were successful acquiring the treasure, but a huge battle soon broke out. Eventually, the treasure was lost at sea and was never seen again. This pirate ship be the very same one from that battle years ago. It has been restored and to be put into the Maritime Museum on Duck's Branch Line.
So does that mean no one has ever tried looking for the treasure, Salty?
Oh, many sailors have tried looking for your old treasure, but alas, it remains lost to time. Well, there's a legend on the mainland that if one finds the tallest tree in the forest, they'll find the path to an old harbor. Then, if they wait for it to be a sailor's delight, with a red sky at night, a reflection of light will let one find the treasure.
That's a good story, Scotsman. But I'm afraid I must be going. Can't keep the passengers waiting. I'm a guaranteed connection.
Bye, Thomas. Or see you later, matey. As Thomas finished his passenger run, the clues to the treasure were still on his mind. You're running low on coal, Thomas. We must go to the coaling plant to get some more.
Right away, driver.
But Thomas still wanted to at least find the first clue. On his way to the coaling plant, Thomas passed through Henry's forest. He noticed the trees there were the tallest of all, and there was an oddly shaped stone at the bottom of one of them.
Aha! It's the first clue! The tallest tree in the forest.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to look at it. So Thomas's fireman picked up the old stone, and to his surprise, there, on the back of the stone, was an old map of railway lines. Look, Thomas, there's a map of railway lines carved into the back of this old stone.
Bust my buffers, Scotsman's story must be true.
Thomas's firemen took the stone with them, and Thomas continued on his way to the coaling plant. Thomas rolled under the hopper to be filled up with coal.
I don't recognize the lines leading to that harbor. I wonder where they lead. Diesel, would you happen to know anything?
About what? Old tracks? Probably ripped up.
There's an old line that leads to a harbor. It's shown on the back of this old stone. I'm trying to find out if there's any treasure there.
Ha! Pirates, treasure, it's just silly make-believe, Thomas.
Bother.
Hello, Thomas. Why the long face?
Well, I'm trying to find the lost treasure of Captain Callies. There's a map to an old harbor on the back of this stone, but Diesel only laughed at me.
Oh, well, I don't know about any treasure, but I might be able to tell you where that harbor is.
And so, Thomas's fireman showed Edward the old stone. Edward studied the map carefully.
That harbor is by Kirk Ronan, hasn't been used in years. That track branches off just after the 3 tunnels by Birdie's Bridge. Then you pass the old watermill, and after a while you're at the harbor.
Thank you very much, Edward. The 3 tunnels are just after Birdie's Bridge. I hope we get there soon.
Eventually, Thomas arrived at the old harbor. It was starting to get dark.
The last clue was to wait for it to be a red sky in the night and a reflection of light will lead the way to the treasure. But it's sundown and there's no reflection at all. Maybe Diesel was right. Perhaps it is all just silly make-believe.
Just then, Clarabelle noticed the lighthouse in the distance.
Thomas, look, the lighthouse! Clarabelle, what are you talking about?
Thomas switched tracks and saw the lighthouse too.
It's just a lighthouse. No, Thomas, Clarabelle's right. It's not just a lighthouse, it's a reflection of light. Cinders and ashes, you two, you're right. The light's reflecting off the water.
And with that, Thomas puffed to the lighthouse as fast as his wheels could carry him. Thomas arrived at the lighthouse, and his driver and fireman began digging into the soil by the water.
Thomas, you won't believe this.
Thomas's driver walked out of the trees and pointed to Thomas an old treasure chest.
Hurrah, we did it! I must tell Sir Topham Hatt immediately.
So, Thomas was uncoupled from Annie and Clarabelle, and he set off to find Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas searched everywhere for Sir Topham Hatt. He searched high and searched low. He looked to and fro but couldn't find Sir Topham Hatt anywhere.
Where could he be? Where could he be?
Presently, Thomas saw Harold the helicopter resting on a hill beside the track.
Harold, I need your help.
Whatever is the matter, Thomas?
I've just made a big discovery. I must tell Sir Topham Hatt, but I don't know where he is. Have you seen him?
Why, yes, indeed I have. I saw him talking to Stepney at Maythwaite Station just a few minutes ago.
Could you fly to Sir Topham Hatt and tell him to meet me at the lighthouse? It's very important. Your helicopter arms carry you much faster than my wheels ever could.
Of course I can, old chap.
Thank you, Harold.
See you in a jiff.
Soon Sir Topham Hatt arrived at the lighthouse aboard Harold.
Thomas, what is all this about a big discovery? Right over here, sir.
Why, that couldn't be. It's the...
Lost treasure of Captain Callies, sir.
I can't believe you've discovered it. I always thought it was just a story. This will be a perfect piece for the museum. You, Thomas, are a really useful engine.
And no amount of treasure could make Thomas happier than being a really useful engine.
There's a word around you wherever you may be. Favorite names and places everywhere you go. Sodor is our island, the only home we know. Out of Henry's tunnel, or climbing Gordon's Hill, past the castle ruins towards the water mill. We'll whistle past the lighthouse, gleaming red and white. We'll leave the sheds at Tidmouth, then come back home at night. Take a look about you, enjoy the world you see. Be it town or country, there's such variety. Oh, familiar faces everywhere you go. Sodor is our island, the only home we know. Across the old steel bridge, or past the church we'll go. Up beyond the windmill, or bowing through the snow. On towards the castle, and past the sea so blue. Wherever you are going, here's what you should do. Have a look about you and take in what you see. There's a word around you wherever you may be. Favorite names and places everywhere you go. Sodor is our island, the only home we know. Doobie doobie doo-ba, doobie doobie doo-ba, doobie doobie doo-ba. Take a look about you, enjoy the world you see. Be in town or country, there's such variety. All familiar faces everywhere